Are you wondering how to help your parents or grandparents downsize from their current home? My name is Jenny Wetzel. I'm a realtor with Windermere in Tacoma, and I'm here with my mom, Diane Wetzel, who recently helped her parents, my grandparents, downsize from the home that they had lived in for almost 30 years. Mom, welcome.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about what the experience was like in helping Grandma and Grandpa downsize from their current home.
Well, first it was a lot of work, and we knew it would be. I think one of the things we did right was to allow a lot of time.
Yeah.
So once they made the decision that they were going to move, we started early. And we probably allowed about 6 months total before the move. And that allowed us to do little bits of downsizing at a time because it really is a lot of work. So you need to allow enough time. That's probably the most important thing we found.
Downsizing is such a huge process because you're moving from a space that accommodates all of your personal belongings to a much smaller space. Did you have any specific strategies or techniques that you used to help thin out their personal belongings?
We did. We didn't try to tackle too much at once. Yeah. It was just one cabinet or one closet that we did in a day. You don't realize until you get into the thick of it how many things you've accumulated. And a lot of those things have some emotional attachments. It's not just easy to say, oh yeah, I'm getting rid of this, or I want to keep it and take it along with me. That is another strategy that we used, though, is we decided up front that there would be a decision made about everything. So no maybes. So we keep it, we give it away, or we toss it. And that was not always easy, but we did stick by that. And allowing enough time, especially for my mom and dad, to think about things and just doing little bits at a time worked pretty well.
I mean, this is something that, Grandma and Grandpa had mentioned years ago, talking about, okay, eventually this is something that we're going to do. Was there anything you had mentioned about 6 months, kind of probably more of the heavy lifting that you guys took, but
Right.
But was there anything, years in advance that you guys started to do to prepare for the transition?
Oh, yeah. Probably 10 years ago when they started talking about wanting to be in a place where there were more services available, less steps, things like that. Yeah. We did a lot of research online and going to different retirement communities to really see the different options that were available. They got on some wait lists for places, and then for many years, they got calls, oh, you're number one on the wait list, you can move in now, and they weren't ready, and so they just, so there was a lot of time spent researching and thinking about, what next, where are we going to go? Yeah.
Well, and I think that that's another component as far as, that you had two people who have lived in a home for 30 years and were so comfortable, and to be able for both of them to decide, okay, this is the place where we want to move, and we're ready to make that transition kind of at the same time, I'm sure is a lot. So that time piece is important.
Yeah.
So one last question, Mom. Is there anything else that you were talking about kind of in preparation for their big downsize?
I think the hardest thing, going back a little bit, was things that have those emotional attachments, things like videos and pictures. Those were the most difficult. My folks just, didn't want to let some of that stuff go. Mm-hmm. So they kept a lot of that stuff, and so we'll still have a lot of stuff to go through at some point. For my folks, you were a huge resource for them. And, that's another thing. You call on people you know who have contacts or expertise. And in our family, you're that person. And when Mom and Dad had that pile of stuff that they finally at the end that they were like, oh, we don't know what to do with, Jenny just said, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll deal with it. Yeah. Which I don't expect you to do for just anybody, but
Yeah,
that was huge.
well, and that's something that my office does, is that we have an annual event where any clients can come in and bring in their confidential documents and have them properly disposed of. And I think that is, I mean, you have 30 years of documents that are...
Yeah, that's another thing that easily gets out of control.
Yeah, yeah. Mom, thanks so much. I can say, for one, going
You're
through
welcome.
this process with my mom, it makes all the present moment bittersweet. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly or click the link below.